Good morning. Welcome back to our Astronomy Class 101, in which today we are going to discuss about the planets in the solar system. Are you ready? Okay. So before we begin, let's have a overview about this topic. So we all know that there are 8 planets from the solar system, and these are the Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And these 8 planets are broadly categorized into 2, such as the terrestrial planets and Jovian planets. Terrestrial planets includes planets from Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, which are characterized by solid rocky land masses. Another is that the existence of moons. It's either one moon, few moons, or even no moons at all. And the other category involves the Jovian planets, which includes the planets Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Jovian planets are categorized as gas giants, and another thing is that these planets holds greater number of moons compared to the terrestrial planets. And also, Jovian planets are primarily made up of helium and hydrogen, as well as with the traces of elements such as methane and ammonia, and ice and water molecules. So let's begin our discussion by discussing the first 4 planets from the solar system, which are the terrestrial planets, starting with the planet Mercury. So now let's go. We search it in the search bar, and beware that as you type the name of the celestial object, you should type it correctly, as the search bar is strictly compliant with the spelling of the word that you are looking for. And then we tap it here, and we can zoom now to that celestial object. So as of now, as you can see from the surface feature of Mercury, it seems that it is now in the new moon or full moon phase. And remember that as we are using this Stellarium software, we are realistically viewing the current cosmic conditions of the space, such as in this time, this current date and current time. So as you can see, the surface of Mercury has the resemblance for our natural satellite, which is moon. And in this case, we can swipe this up and look for the essential information about this planet. So here it says here that it is the smallest planet in the solar system and is the one which is closest to the sun. Its orbit around the sun takes about 87.97 Earth days, and that is one of the shortest of all the sun's planets. Another interesting fact is that this planet is named after the Roman god Mercurius, or in English Mercury, which is the god of commerce, messenger of the gods, and mediator between gods and mortals. That also corresponds to the Greek god Hermes. Mercury rotates in a way that is unique to the solar system. It is tidally locked with the sun in a 3:2 spin-orbit resonance, meaning that is relative to the fixed stars that makes around the sun. Another interesting fact is that the iron core of this planet, which is Mercury, is somewhat similar to the size of our moon, as astronomers from nowadays studies that the inner core of this planet is continually shrinking or shrinking, and as the time passes by. And that summarizes our discussion about the planet Mercury. So now we can delve into the second planet in the solar system, which is Venus, and it is right there. We can center the position and zoom it in. So as you can see, the surface feature of and atmosphere of Venus is somewhat similar to Jupiter, as it is distinguishable with the atmospheric bands that surrounds or engulfs the planet. And the Venusian atmosphere is so thick that the light is being reflected, that the light from the sun is being reflected by it, causing it to be one of the brightest objects in the solar system as viewed from Earth after the moon. And here are some of the other informations about it. It is the second planet from the sun and is named about the Roman goddess of love and beauty. It is also the brightest natural object in the Earth's night sky after the moon, which I said earlier, and it casts shadow that is visible to the naked eye in the broad daylight. Hence the term or information about it called as the morning and evening star, because it is possible to be viewed from daylight or nighttime view. Venus orbits the sun every 224.7 Earth days. And it is also a terrestrial planet that is sometimes referred to as the Earth's sister planet because of their similarity in size, mass, proximity or nearness to the sun, and bulk composition. It also has the densest atmosphere among the 4 terrestrial planets that consisted of 96% carbon dioxide. So here are the other information. The spacecraft that already visited this planet is Mariner 2. Both Mercury and Venus have no satellites or no moons, and that distinguishes the characteristics of terrestrial planets. So after discussing the second planet from the sun, we can now go to Earth. But in this case, it is not possible to see our planet because we are stepping on the planet itself. And what I am supposed to do is just give you some interesting information about Earth. In the earlier times, Earth is thought to be the center of the universe by the earlier astronomers such as Ptolemy and Aristotle. But modern times, and also with the existence of much modern scientists such as Nicolaus Copernicus, disproved that Earth is the center of the universe rather the sun. Hence the term heliocentric universe or sun-centered universe is proven. And as of now, this is the reality in which the sun is at the center, holding all the celestial objects, the 8 planets and other celestial bodies, and that orbits around it. Did you understand that? And also, Earth has only one moon, which is our moon, and the name of our moon is Luna. And we can search it here and look for it and zoom for it. So as you can see, this is the actual surface feature of the moon, and this has also the origin or theories of how it formed. and we will discuss it later to other videos. So we can search it here, and these are the information. It says here that Moon is the Earth's only natural satellite, and it is about 1/4 of the diameter of Earth. Moon is also located with an average distance of 384,400 kilometers and is about 30 times the Earth's diameter. Its gravitational influence slightly lengthens the Earth's day and is main driver of the Earth's tide, which causes the high and low tides as we experience it on Earth. Its surface gravity is about 1/6 of the Earth's. So we will discuss later about how it forms and also a much detailed look about the surface pictures of it. So please stand by. So after discussing the third planet from the sun, which is Earth, and also its only satellite, which is the Moon, we can now go to Mars, which is the fourth planet. So as you can see, this is the surface picture of Mars, and it features a reddish brown hue because of the presence of iron, and it undergoes the chemical processes of oxidation, which turns it into a rust-like color, similar to when a metal is exposed to water and oxygen. So here we can see some polar ice caps of Mars, which are then believed to be habitable from the past and is now not a habitable one. But there are some space missions that proves or is starting to launch their missions that they want to terraform Mars for the existence or continuity of the species and human race of the Earth. Also, we can find in the planet Mars the Olympus Mons, which is the highest mountain, which is supposed to be highest than the Mount Everest in the Earth. Also, we can find here the Valles Marineris, which is also the deepest canyon among the 4 terrestrial planets. Another interesting fact is that Mars have 2 moons named as Phobos and Deimos. So we can view one. So it seems here that Deimos is in the farthest orbit of Mars, and even though we can zoom it further, it cannot zoom further, and we can view other informations about it. Deimos is about 23,460 kilometers from Mars and is named after Deimos, which is the ancient Greek god and personification of dread and terror, who is also a son of Ares and Aphrodite and the twin brother of Phobos. Hence the term Phobos and Deimos as 2 moons, and they were coined as twins. How about Phobos? It is not also possible to be zoomed in. However, Phobos is named after the Greek god Phobos, which is son of Mars and Venus, together with his twin brother Deimos. It is the god and personification of fear and panic. Probably the situation wherein these 2 moons were the satellite of the Mars, because the gravitational force of Mars captured these 2 asteroids, and it continually orbits Mars, and hence it is now the two satellites that comprises Mars. Do you understand that? Okay. After discussing Mars, we can now jump into Jupiter, which is the fifth planet from the Sun. We can zoom it here, and one of the prominent features of Mars is the atmospheric bands that surrounds it. So in this case, we can see the great red spot of the planet, which is the raging storm that rages for about 384 years, the longest time that a typhoon destructs. It is the type of weather disturbance that already existent, or one of the oldest existing weather disturbance in the Jupiter's atmosphere. Jupiter also holds the greatest number of moons, which are 79 moons, and 4 of them were discovered by Italian astronomer Galileo Galilei, and these are Europa, Ganymede, Io, and Callisto. So we can view each one. This is Io, which is a heavily cratered surface, probably by meteorite and asteroid impacts from the space. And another one is Ganymede, which has the resemblance to the surface features of our moon. We search for the other moons of Jupiter. Which is also similar to the features of our moon. Callisto and Ganymede. So we can swipe up and look for the interesting information about it. And it is the third brightest natural object in the Earth's night sky after the Moon and Venus. It is primarily composed of hydrogen, but helium comprises 1/4 of its mass and 1/10 of its volume. It has a rocky core of heavier elements. And Jupiter lacks a well-defined solid surface, unlike the terrestrial planets. Jupiter, aside from its giant size, Jupiter also holds the highest gravitational force and a powerful magnetosphere. And this magnetic tail covers the entire distance of Saturn's orbit. And Jupiter has almost 100 known moons, and possibly many more has to be discovered by various space missions. And as I said earlier, there are already four moons that are already discovered by Galileo in 1610, which is Ganymede is the one of the largest of them. So after Jupiter, the next planet from the solar system is Saturn. We can zoom it here. And as we all know that Saturn's prominent feature is the existence of its rings. And these rings are also further divided into different divisions known as Cassini's division from A to G, if I am not mistaken. And another mystical feature about this planet is the existence of hexagonal weather disturbance that is similar to Jupiter's great red spot. However, this weather disturbance is located at the north pole of the planet. As of now, in addition, Saturn is now considered as the holder of the record with the greatest number of moons compared to Jupiter, which has only 1979. As declared by National Aeronautics Space and Administration, Saturn has already 82 discovered moons, which is much greater than Jupiter's 79 moons. And some of these are Enceladus, Mimas, Dione, and Janus. We can view one, such as Enceladus. But in this sense, we can zoom it further because it is probably, as of now, it is in the farthest point of the Saturn's orbit. So we can click it here again and view some information about it. It is the 6th planet from the Sun and is also the 2nd largest planet in the solar system after Jupiter. It is also a gas giant with an average radius of about 9.5 times that of Earth. It is named after the Roman god of wealth and agriculture with the symbol sickle, and the Romans who named it accordingly to the 7th day of the week, which is Saturday, because of the 2nd century for the planet Saturn. It is most likely composed of iron, nickel, rock, silicon, and oxygen compounds. 53 of its moons are officially named, and Titan is one of the largest moon and 2nd largest in the solar system than Mercury. And Titan is the only moon in the solar system to have a substantial atmosphere which is similar to the Earth. After Saturn, it follows Uranus, which is the 7th planet from the Sun. We can zoom it here. And Uranus is also known as a blue-green world because of the existence of compound methane that gives it a bluish green color. And some of its moons are Cressida, Juliet, Ophelia, Belinda, and Portia, which are moons that are named accordingly to the characters from the works of William Shakespeare. It is the 7th planet from the Sun with a reference from the Greek god of the sky, which is Uranus, according to the Greek mythology. And Uranus and Neptune is, aside from being a Jovian planet, is also classified as ice giants because of the presence of ices such as water, ammonia, and methane, along with the traces of other hydrocarbons. Another is that it has the coldest planetary atmosphere in the solar system with a minimum temperature of 49 degrees Kelvin, and has a complex layered cloud structure with water thought to make up the lowest clouds and methane the uppermost layer of clouds. The interior of Uranus is mainly composed of ices and rocks. Another thing is that Uranus has also a ring system, a magnetosphere, and numerous moons. And the ring systems are classified according to their names, such as and in 1986, the images from Voyager 2 shows Uranus as an almost featureless planet in the visible light, so meaning it cannot be easily seen by the naked eye. And the one that is credited for the discovery of Uranus is William Herschel in 1610. After discussing about the 7th planet from the Sun, which is Uranus, we can now jump to the last planet from the solar system. It is Neptune. So as you can see, the planet Neptune has also a spot similar to Jupiter, which is the Great Dark Spot, which is obviously prominent here. And Neptune also holds the planets in the moons, numbers of moons in the along with the other gas giants. Neptune's color is deep dark blue because also of the presence of methane, similar to the composition of Uranus. Some of its moons are Proteus, Triton, and Larissa, and we can view some information about it. And Neptune is the 8th and farthest known planet from the solar system. It is 4th largest planet by diameter, 3rd most massive planet, and densest giant planet. And among the Jovian planets, it is also the smallest of all the gas giants. The planet orbits the Sun once every 164.8 years at an average distance of 30.1, in which it is the longest time. So, suppose that there are many events that happened on Earth. If, as of now, Neptune didn't already completed one complete cycle of revolution around the Sun. It is named after the Roman god of sea with a symbol that is similar to the trident of Neptune. So we can view some of its moon, such as Triton, but in this case we can zoom it further because it is the limitation, and probably this moon or celestial object is in the farthest point orbit of Neptune. And so that summarizes all our topic about the planets in the solar system, in which they are 8 and they are all revolving around a life-giving star, which is our Sun. And that's it. Thank you for your listening.